I'm going to dive back into uncomfortable. I'm gonna go wake up at 3 a.m., go to my schoolhouse, get my shit rocked, all to earn a martial arts belt, just so I could look a little better in my job. And guess what? I wasn't even told to do it. It was all voluntary. When people go on to doing hard stuff that makes them better in the long run, right? Like getting proper exercise, getting good sleep, eating healthier, they eventually there will be a point where they get tired of it, or they get subconscious of the pain that comes with it, and they're gonna think, oh, I really don't need this pain. But there'll be this other part of you that wants to finish the goal, and it's like he's telling you to like shut the fuck up, stop being a pussy, and do the hard work. Like that should be your mentality. And guess what happened? I'm chilling. I got my green belt for a while as a Lance. So, despite me like not wanting to get my ass beat by the equivalent of karate black belt martial arts artist, to me being like a white belt punching bag, and a bunch of other intense like physical training that will make you wish you had like detachable limbs. Where did my motivation even come from, right? Like why want to experience that pain even you didn't have to? Did motivation play a huge role? Fuck no. Cause motivation can only fuel you for so long. Like the truth is, your form of motivation comes from the most childish shit. Like really childish shit. Like it's when you're comfortable, and when you're in the times you're uncomfortable is when you were a kid. Like I've lived my life in copilot mode when your motivation comes from like that the most childish shit ever, right? Like a grown ass man and wanting to go out to help with like the tiniest thing, to help out in learning something new, like a car or something, helping father with a car, whatever. You're just expecting something to earn from them, like earning more playtime, earning some money, just and then thinking and going back again like on Saturday, right? And go back and playing video games all day. Like for someone else, like smoking weed, shit bagging to school, physical training in PE, being a goblin, going out only with your family, and not going out by yourself to make friends or learning how to make friends. Like, your motivation comes from eating McDonald's, and that's for like 90% of the men in the US or probably around the world, right? You think that motivation got me through boot camp? Fuck no. I could have up out anytime. I could have quit. That was my fuel to keep on struggling. Had I not decided to prepare myself by running track and cross country in my junior and senior year, because I hated my ass for being a fat fuck in high school and being called that to a guy that went to outrun like 98% of the people in my high school. Like the reason I'm making this video right now is because I know my motivation wouldn't work. Maybe for like a good night, right? Maybe in a good night, in a good week, right? Or something happy happened, something good happened. No. Most likely than not, there will be no time, no good time. There will be no time, and you think you just let opportunity happen, right? So you see the problem right there. Like motivation meets procrastination. The opportunists love they love waiting for opportunities, and their brain loves the path of least resistance. English is hard, okay? So you think motivation works? Let me give you an example of why it sucks. Before boot camp, I was a decent athlete. I could score like a 250, like 80% on nerds in the physical scores before you get shipped out, right? And then with a fool's motivation, with a pumped up attitude, I got sick on my third week. I was no longer the tough guy, I ended up taking 6 medications in the long run. You think my ass was thinking positive, motivated after losing my athletic lead, to my brain being constantly filled with fog. as my sinus, as my breathing came filled with mucus dripping off my face. Fuck no. I knew when I was told by my instructors that if I go to medical I'll get dropped, I took that shit to heart. I wasn't lying letting that dream of me graduating on time happen, you know. Like, I wasn't letting the opportunity to get away and waste another week to like maybe like another company, right? It would have been better, right? I could have stayed there back. I could have had a break, gotten rid of my sickness. I could have gotten a fresh start with like new recruits, new people, new friends, right? Didn't hate me as much for being sick, you know. But I'm not a pussy. I knew my strength. Thanks to all the pain I endured in senior year, whatever, throughout my life when I got into self-improvement. I knew that all I had to do was to suck it in, keep all that pain, keep it on the radar, and do the things right. Like, I was the fucking kid from Ender's Game in the book. Like, similar setting. Even the shower scene. Okay, no. And you can imagine them in the book, like, Ender had nothing going on in his favor. Every time he succeeded on something, they put a bigger challenge, bigger burden, and he eventually had to be like this perfect kind of freaking strategist. Which he kind of was, though, but whatever. The point is, like, you can imagine Ender had no motivation when everything that was put aside, like everything was being tested out to the point where they wanted to witness his downfall every time, his motivation, just to break him. Like, you don't think I wanted to like fight off the squads, the guys, squad leaders, the people that like were harassing me, calling me retard, to be faster with my lungs, and when I screaming at me when my lungs were filled with like I couldn't breathe right. I had to suck it in. I had to thug it out. Despite my sickness, despite how uncomfortable and miserable I was, I tried my best because I despise that old version of me, that soft version of me, because I knew I could take all that pain and turn myself into something tough. So I had to break a leg to actually get dropped from that platoon. So most of my unquote motivation back then came from me despising the person I was for long years as a teen in my home environment. Like, I eventually realized how much I sacrificed of my time, of work, of my hard work for instant gratification. Like sacrificing tomorrow's happiness for today's by playing a video game, by eating junk food, by not wanting to go out and talk to people, make friends, by being a social dwarf or something. There'll be a point where you're gonna hit a so low, you're gonna feel depressed. And you think there's gonna be motivation there if you don't even believe in yourself? Even worse, if you don't believe in yourself and you can't do anything about it, you're gonna live a loser's life, a miserable life. You're gonna be a pussy with that mentality every time. You're gonna drag yourself down and others. But the moment you put yourself out to believe and to act out of your uncomfortable zone is the first step to getting better. It should be something that should be worn like a medal of honor every time you did something that will make you a better person, a better man. Onto all the improvements you've done. It should be like a pretense of strength. Even though you might feel like a fragrance of sadness from all that pain, all that suffering that you went through to get to that point, still something that you should wear with pride. Because at the end of the day, nobody was going to save you. No matter how much you prayed, all that work had to start between your heart. We can only save ourselves and let it be God, the source of our hope. So if you were motivated long enough and like and subscribe, and comment there was a time where motivation wasn't enough. Because honestly, I don't feel any better right now. I just want to do this hard way. I want to, I want to get to 100 subscribers. Okay. Hopefully 1,000 by the end of the year. Okay. So, this is Andres, and see you all on the next video.